So, welcome to the Digital Maddie Show with your host and host Miithyl, a show made exclusively for solopreneurs, artists, and coaches who wants to build their business online. With 15 plus years of business experience, I cover topics on personal branding, content creation, and digital marketing on this show and invite many experts who share the same passion like mine. Today, we have an amazing guest on our show. Her name is Yanique, and let me just introduce her. So she is a creative with an obsession for producing amazing brand visuals for that transforms ordinary spaces into extraordinary experiences. She was born in Kingston, Jamaica, graduated from Florida Atlantic University and Full Sail University with a BA in Fine Arts and an MAF in Media Design. She is the founder and owner of YKMD with 20 plus years of design experience. The United States Department of Labor recognized her as an expert in brand development and graphic design by engaging her as a consultant for the federal ONET program. So let's bring her onto the platform. So here we have Yanique.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you
That's an
doing?
echo. That's an echo.
Yes, yes, yes. We fill such large spaces that we can't help but to echo.
Absolutely. Lovely. I am feeling that vibe. Super cool. So, Yannick, over to you. Can you share your backstory with all of us?
Yeah, sure. So, like you already said, I moved to America and I pursued my varying degrees. I went to college, did all the things, joined a sorority, became president of a chapter, did student government, did all the things, right? And then I went into corporate America. And within corporate America, it was great, right? But I went into corporate America after kind of like hustling through it, like doing like flyers, like going to clubs, going to parties and going like, hey, who did your flyer? I could do that. And using that as a way to like kind of like build a valid portfolio, because when I had just graduated from college, I couldn't really find a job, right? So after I had, used my little street smarts, built up that portfolio and found my way into corporate America, while I was in corporate America, right, you always say the grass is always greener. I get there because I'm like, yeah, this is it. I'm making buku money. Like, this is awesome. I never want to leave. And then I got laid off. And I was like, wait, what? What's happening here? And then I found another job and then I got laid off again. And I wasn't getting laid off because, I wasn't doing a great job for these corporations or because, my bosses didn't like me. It was just the nature of the marketing industry. It was just, well, why do we want to have this super expensive in-house staff when we can outsource to agencies? Or once we're kind of like done doing the rebrand, it's like, all right, we're just going to cut that department because we don't need that overhead anymore. And I was like, all right, if this is going to keep happening, I want to have control over my situation. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my own business where those same companies would reach out to me as the freelancer or the agency owner instead of just the employee that they would hire and then fire. So I guess that's a little bit about my backstory. At this point now, I went from being a solopreneur with, just me running and building the business to now having an amazing team worldwide built of, the top 1% of what the world has to offer in terms of creative talent. And I feel like we're really holding our own in this space. So that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
That's actually a beautiful story. So, you are a smart person. So, you changed the adversity into opportunity. It's super brilliant. I am this is awesome. I'm loving it. I'm simply loving it. So, Yannick, since you are into branding and you design concepts and visuals, this is my special question. And as a content creator, this is one thing that we always love, a bit of a shortcut. So, how do you create hundreds of high quality designs in less than 30 days?
Thank you so much for that question. It's not as big a secret as people think it is. It's actually a lot easier than people make it out to be. The big key about it is don't do it on your own, right? Like, and this is coming from someone, with, 10 plus years of design experience, don't do it on your own. So, what I've done within my agency is to really create some key positions and put in place some key players to really make sure that we're executing high volume but maintaining quality. And so we like to say that we create, hundreds of consistent, reliable outsourced graphic design for our clients. Number one, you have to have a really great project manager. People think it's just about the designer, but it's not. You have to have a really great project manager. Alongside a really great project manager, you have to give the project manager the right tools, right? So, I mean, an Excel file by itself is not enough. You have to have a really great and robust project management platform that you can actually have your project manager manage, not just for the designers themselves, but also for the clients. Three, having complete transparency between designer, project manager, and the actual client. So we're not like missing feedback. Everybody's aware of what's happening along the entire way. So no one's surprised when it's done, right? That way you're getting the feedback quicker, you're going through the process quicker, and so you're able to produce more. The next thing is allowing the designers to focus on design instead of constantly going back and forth and like managing client relations, keeping the designers out of meetings, right? So that they can focus and they can focus on actually building the designs. They can focus on actually being productive and producing versus the nuances of concepting, having getting feedback from clients and so on and so forth. So with that kind of setup, on top of that, having someone who is going to then go through the designs, almost like a manufacturing floor, like there are different stages for everything. And when you get to the place where you're like, okay, it's about to go to the client, before it even goes to the client for review, what we actually do is have someone evaluate, like, does this actually meet client expectations? Is this on brand? Is this following best practices for graphic design and graphic design standards in terms of the visual that's being created? And then once we've already gotten that all together, then we'll send to the client and be like, hey, this is ready for you to approve. And more 10 times out of 10 times out of, let's say, 15, there's no feedback. There's just like approved, approved, approved. So we're able to like literally like run through this thing like a manufacturing assembly floor. Like we have a really great machine set up for every stage of the process so that we're able to do a lot more of output. So a lot of people feel like, oh, well, that's easy. We can do it ourselves. But I mean, sure, you could, but how much is it going to cost you to have a project manager? How much is it going to cost you to have like a in-house graphic designer? How much is it going to cost you to have an in-house art director? How much is it going to cost you to build that get this project management platform going? I mean, I want to say, based on my research, and I want to make sure the number is right, it's somewhere like $22,000. That's not really an ideal number. So what it is that we do is offer a service where people can come and get that same setup, that same machine thing that we've actually had and tested and implemented for 10% of the price that they would if they were going out to do it on their own. So yeah, that's how we do it.
That's awesome, Yannick. Lovely. Thank you for sharing almost the blueprint of how you work.
Yeah, it is. That's literally our blueprint. That's how we get things done.
True, and that clearly shows how authentic you are. This actually builds your credibility, and this really shows how true a leader you are. So hats off to that.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Awesome. But the one thing, Yannick, you will agree with me that most of the content creator, they start with just random content and they design everything random. But like since I'm also a digital coach, and this is one thing which I guide a lot of my students is to always find a niche, because that's everything matters. So why do you think? Like, do you also agree that yes, finding a niche matters?
Yeah, so no, having a niche is like a really big deal. It allows you to really streamline your marketing process. It allows you to really streamline who you're talking to and why you're talking to them, and really cater to them and their problems and finding solutions for them. And so, I mean, even with in our business, our primary target audience is corporate event planners corporate event planners and trade show managers. And even within that, even though it that sounds really wide, we tend to focus on people who have, or companies who have 5+ events per year, with at least one of them having like $1 million budget. Can smaller companies benefit? Absolutely. We just don't, we don't really go out of our way to like have that conversation. But nonetheless, even though we're talking to this really specific person, I mean, I get calls from all kind, like, I have right now, we have like lawyers on our client list. We have stock advisors on our client list. We have well, this actually counts within our niche, but like we have like nightclubs with that fall within our on our client list. So it doesn't necessarily limit our capability to serve people. It just helps us to tailor our message in a much more specific way. If our message tends to resonate with other people, great, we'll accept them as clients if we have like the bandwidth and they're willing to pay the same rate, sure. But like it's really important to kind of like help you like get through the weeds. Like it's you can't just like talk into the air, right? Like you have to be willing to like identify a person and talk to them, not just like talk around them, so that they'll be like, oh, this really, this connects with me, this resonates with me. I want to pick up the phone and call them. They get me. So yeah, having a niche is super important.
Awesome. There's one more thing that I have noticed, especially with branding agencies, the CEOs, as well as graphic designers and people who are into the designing and visual concept. Is most people have a challenge of balancing work life, and they tend to do a lot of, like, they take a lot of things. They tend to do a lot of things, and they struggle a lot. So uh, you know Yannick, as per you, because I can see, like, you're very sorted, and things are super cool. So how do you do more by doing less and live a happier life? Like, because I can see you all gleaming and shining. So I'm sure the question is
So
absolutely correct.
yeah, I mean, number one, thank you for that. Gleaming and shining. Um, I think the most important thing is, again, really understanding you can't do everything on your own. At the end of it, whether you are a small business or a large business, there's no way to do all of it on your own and still maintain your sanity, right? Like I've gone through my fair share of trials and tribulations lately, and there is no way that I would even be able to feed myself if I didn't have a really great team. There is no way I'd be able to take weekends off if I didn't have a great team that I could rely on. So a lot of it is really about understanding that nobody does this on their own. No one does this on their own. We all rely on each other. It's just about finding the right people that you can rely on. So, for me, it's about finding, top tier graphic design talent, top tier 3D animators, top tier copywriters, top tier social media managers, top tier art directors, top tier project managers who can help me to basically do all the fulfillment I need for my clients, because I can't do it on my own. It doesn't matter how many great ideas I have. It doesn't matter how much great direction I have. When I was doing it on my own, spending like 14, 15, 16 hours a day just trying to get the work done, I was depressed. I was at home crying by myself. I wanted to go out and have a drink so bad, but I couldn't because I had to get the work done and I couldn't miss the deadline, because if I miss the deadline, my client's going to look at me crazy. Now, I'm still, still killing the work, still getting things done on time, not missing deadlines, but because I have some people to help me, reliable people who understand the importance of deadlines, who understand quality of work, who also understand how the fact that our clients at the end of the day are our most valuable assets on top of our team. they know that we need to support them in the way that we want to support each other. And so, we're able to like kill the work and have a drink on the weekends. My team knows, like, unless there's some like fly by night emergency, we don't work on the weekends. We enjoy our lives. That's it. We enjoy our lives so that come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we can execute to the best of our ability because we've taken some time to rest because we can rely on each other.
Super cool. Super cool. So, Yannick, with this, we come to the end of the phase one of the interview, and the phase two is all about rapid fire round. But I'm going to ask you 5 questions, not giving
Okay.
you time to think. What are the first thing comes in your mind? You have to spill it out. So, are you ready?
Okay. All right. No, but let's go.
All right, let us zoom a little bit. Let me make it a little intense. Lovely.
Okay.
All right, so very first question is, what is the one thing you're going to put in your bucket list in 2022?
2022 bucket list, Australia.
Wow, lovely. Second question, who do you admire the most?
Who do I admire the most? Typically, I'd say my grandpa. He died this year, so it's a little weird. But my grandpa, I'm still stuck on my grandpa.
I'm so sorry to hear that. But yes,
Thank you.
inspiration always matters a lot. Lovely. So, who is your favorite cartoon character and why?
Oh, favorite cartoon character. Whoa. Um, hmm. I want to say Tommy from Rugrats because he was always down to explore. Like he was fearless. He was like, "Well, let's go figure it out. Well, we got to go look for this." And I feel like that's kind of indicative of my life at the moment. I'm kind of like, don't know till you try, don't know till you look. Let's do it. So,
It's like, screw it, let's do it.
yes, exactly.
All right, describe yourself in 3 words.
Consistent, intelligent, diligent.
CID. Lovely. Okay, so who's your favorite superhero and why?
Wonder Woman. Um, Honestly, it's more because she's kind of a woman who just isn't afraid of anything. Um, you know, she walks through a room and everyone wants to like turn their head and look at her and talk to her, but she's really unbothered by it. She's just like, listen, I'm just living my life. Like, this is just relax. Oh, you want me to conquer the world? Ah, no problem. It's fine. Just another day. It's just a Thursday. That's my Wonder Woman vibes. And so, yeah, she's my
Awesome.
favorite.
So I hope in one of your spaces you'll be having the lasso also, right?
Maybe. I don't know if I'm good at getting the truth out of people, but I know I can tell the truth at all times. So we'll see.
Nice, nice. So thanks, Yannick, for participating in the rapid fire round. And so all the people who are listening to this episode, if they want to connect with you, how can they do that?
So they can connect with me on most platforms. Yanni does stuff. So Y is in yellow, A is in apple, N is in Nancy, I is in igloo, does, and then stuff. So there are 2 S's in there. And you can shoot me a message on LinkedIn, just Yanique DaCosta. Hey, Yanique, I want to connect. Tell me why, and then we'll see what's up. If neither of those work for you, maybe you're not a social media person. I don't know why. But you can always go to my website, the YKMD.com. So that's the Y is in yellow, K is in kilo, M is in monkey, D is in dog.com, and book a time to speak with me or someone on my team. And, we'll chat. We'll give you a free consultation. And if it makes sense, we'll decide if we're going to move forward and work together. No pressure or anything. Just a chat.
Awesome. That's super cool. So, Yannick, before this, before we end this particular episode, what is the one message you would like to give to our listeners?
Wow, the one message I'd like to give to your listeners is don't stop, right? There are different ways to get to your goals. If one path doesn't work, try another.
This is actually deep. Thank you so much, Yannick. Love that.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So, thank you so much once again, Yannick, for taking your lovely time and sharing so much insights and almost sharing your entire blueprint and the way you work. Thank you once again for that.
My pleasure. Hopefully, I added some value to your audience.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. So, you have just listened to the Digital Maddie Show with your host, Miithyl. Thank you so much for listening to our show and giving so much love. Don't forget to subscribe to our show on the podcast platform that you are listening. This is Miithyl signing off with Yannick at this moment. Until next time, meet you soon with another guest and their exciting stories. But until then, keep rocking, stay safe, and keep creating content. Ciao.